No, I'm gonna beat you up.
Wow.
Beach.
Wait, what did I do?
You just said.
Let's do it.
What's up, everybody?
Ladies and gentlemen,
we're back.
Coming back.
You.
Review of many things.
Lots of movies we saw. Actually.
Isaac's shirt, it's
Yeah,
backwards,
too
but
bad
it says...
it's mirrored, but it says Barbenheimer
Yes.
for the
Yes.
Barbie and Oppenheimer movies that came out.
But we're here to talk about...
Yeh Jawaani.
Hi, Deewani.
No. You said that during the react, and
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone...
Yeh Jawaani. Hi, Deewani.
Yeh Jawaani, hi Deewani. Yeah,
Hi,
that's-
Deewani.
I don't know if we pronounced that correctly.
A fun
It's-
romance, comedy,
Yeah.
love story.
Yeah,
Everything
it had
in
the
between.
boy. It
Yep.
had the guy from Barbie. Loved him. He's a great.
Had a
actor.
lot of familiar faces. The gal from
Yes, who
Deepika,
was in
I
a
don't know how
lot
to-
of good movies.
Deepika,
Yep.
and then the gal from the one
Oh
we
yeah,
just saw.
from Zindagi.
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 Yeah,
Yes.
she
the
was
gal.
really good. I
Yeah.
thought she was really good in this.
Yeah.
She played more of a part in this movie for sure.
Than she did in
yeah.
Zindagi. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I thought there were a lot of fun dance sequences, especially when he comes out with the suit, like at the wedding,
Yeah.
and he just takes over. And what did we talk about? The TPM thruster.
Yes,
Yes.
dude.
There was
The
a lot of
thrust.
There was a lot of the dance
The
moves
dance
were
was
definitely
just
unique to
pelvic.
this movie. I mean, maybe who knows? Maybe that's done in a lot of other
Just
modern
thrusting.
Indian films, but there was a lot of thrusting.
A little more than
Yeah.
usual.
Yeah.
It was a lot. But a little goes a lot way when we talk about TPM.
Yeah.
We were rating the TPM at the end. So
Yeah,
watch
we're
that
like,
review
what's
as
the
well.
TPM? Yeah,
If
reaction.
you wanna,
Check out the reaction. For
yeah,
it,
and the
yes.
whole reaction's on Patreon, so check it out there as well.
Yes, full reaction there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then also, if you guys have stuff you want us to watch, check that out. Vote on the
Yes.
Patreon. That's how
Yes.
we decide.
Yeah. Also,
Deciding factor.
we will be upgrading our studio a little bit.
Yes.
And we might have some polls on YouTube
As
and
a
on
result
Patreon.
of your guys' support, which is
Yes.
fantastic.
Thank you. Yep.
And-
We're able to get foam panels, sound
Yeah,
foam panels.
some
foam
things that might
panels.
make it look better.
We're hoping to improve the lighting because,
Yeah.
as you can see, we're a little darker over here.
Yeah.
The mic's a little brighter, so we're going to improve the lighting.
It'll look clean, and we'll
Yeah.
probably be doing polls throughout the way to have you guys kind of help
we
out
want
in
you guys
stuff.
to participate in what decorations we put
Yeah.
in here too.
Maybe,
because
yeah.
we want to put
We don't have much room, so we got to use the space that we have.
So your guys'
The
vote will
most
matter.
optimized.
I thought you
Oppenheimer.
almost said
That was a
Oppenheimer.
Freudian slip.
Yeah, oopsie.
The most opy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
But yeah, back to the movie.
back to the movie Yeh Jawaani.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a romance. It was very sweet.
Yeah, it was.
We've seen stuff like this. I feel like we're watching quite a few dramas right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's similar
Roman-
themes,
rom-coms.
finding
This is kinda
yourself,
like a rom-com.
kind of these adventures that you're
Yeah.
going on. This definitely felt like a rom-com / adventure.
I took
Yeah.
exception to how when she
Yeah.
did find herself, she took her glasses off, which I
That
think
was-
all of us took issue with.
Yeah, I when
We
they
all
played,
have
when
glasses.
they played
Yeah, we
Holly
all
or
have
whatever,
glasses,
she
yeah.
took off her glasses and put in contact.
And she's like, I'm a new lady.
And
we're
I was
like, wait a second.
wait, but glasses? We wear
Yeah,
glasses?
guys, if you
Do
wear
I
glasses,
need to have my glasses
Hey,
No.
on
she
at
could have
all
upgraded
times?
her glasses and
Yeah.
to a better style, and that would have been just
Exactly.
Well,
fine.
and she had her glasses on later in the movie, but like it was kind of that scene was weird how they filmed
The
that. It was like they were
undertone
trying to
of-
show, ooh, she's like
She's
a
no
new
longer
person.
a nerd. She's like,
But guys,
Yeah.
nerdy, it's the new thing.
Yes.
The new
no,
jam.
we're just
Yeah.
going overboard.
No,
But
that's just
it was
a-
pretty funny. It was
funny.
like a
We're not
symbolic, like,
taking issue with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really did like the I do have to say I know I wanted them to be together at the end, but I also didn't in a way.
It would have been interesting to see.
because they really were not compatible. And I mean, he did have that change at the end, which made them more compatible.
Yes.
But as it were, when at the very end, they really weren't compatible.
Well,
they
and
wanted to
repeatedly-
travel.
I like how
found
they-
that they weren't compatible
Yeah.
throughout the movie.
and then
yeah.
you have the change in heart. But it's
Yeah.
like at that point, it's like,
Yeah.
But hey, I mean,
sometimes-
yeah, people can change. I mean,
Okay.
I see. I don't take issue with how they ended it. Either
No.
way, I would have been fine with.
Yeah,
like
I
even
agree.
if they would have parted ways basically and just
Yeah.
been friends,
Part of
I
me
would have
wanted
been like,
that.
okay, that it might be a little more realistic to real life.
Right.
But the way they took it was also like, okay, yeah, somebody could change. Like, you know, it's not like he's like, oh, I'm only gonna travel the rest of my life. I mean, your mindset can change. So I mean, it's
right.
It's
and the character arc
that
shown is starting where you're only caring about yourself.
Yeah.
You're caring about your desires, your ability to travel.
He would always just.
And
she
wants
hit
to
on
settle
that
down.
like that hot girl or
and
that
oh no.
I actually thought that
was
part was hilarious.
Really
I loved
strange,
it.
But
that was odd.
It was interesting. But like anyway, so you see the character arc being that person, and then now they end up with someone, okay, I am willing to settle down. I'm willing to give up maybe a little bit of my dream to settle down.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, I get like that's an interesting arc.
Yeah.
I was just ready for them to, because for a while they were playing at it that it just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's an interesting storyline. Really sometimes it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen like in the movies where you just have to figure that. And I was like, okay, if they ended like that, I would have been behind the story more.
Sure.
But of course, it's a rom-com.
They had to go.
You got to go the expected way.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
I did think this movie had some unique like perspectives, because she wanted to stay at home, she didn't want to travel, he wanted to travel. I haven't seen that happen in a lot of movies. Usually it's just like a basic, like in American movies it's pretty basic how the storyline goes, where it's like, oh, they're, you know, two people fall in love, blah blah blah. But this had more depth behind it.
In America it's usually like the careers.
It's
like, oh, my career, I gotta do this.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about careers in America.
That's true. Too much about
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it did that really well. And then also his friendship with his buddy who was gambling too much and like really wasting away. It was really interesting to see their conversation. They had like a really good conversation near the end of the film that I thought was like, wow, this is the dialogue's really good here, and they really developed that friendship well, like how they're like rivalry at first, and then they kind of changed towards the end a little bit. And so that was interesting. I really like how they developed their friendship. But I don't know. Do you guys have anything else?
I thought I'm sure we're going to arrive at our ratings, but it was back and forth for me, because there were parts that I enjoyed and parts that I didn't enjoy so much. Right. The dialogue was sometimes good, sometimes like, what are you even dwelling on right now?
Yeah.
And they went really overboard in some regards, like for the womanizing aspect. And it's like, okay, we get the picture. Like, we absolutely get the picture. No need to just like, there's some distinct, you'll see in our reactions, just we're like, what in the world?
We're like, whoa, what is this?
And I mean,
when he like when the girl like cuts her knee or something, and he's like, and he takes the leaf, and like just, it was so over dramatic and wild.
So those parts, it's like, okay, I could have done without some of the earlier, especially the earlier parts. And so the main kind of surroundings of the movie in the end is really at this big wedding. And
which
so
they were at that wedding for most of the movie.
Right. Yeah. And so it's kind of interesting for a central location, this really beautiful palace, fancy,
crazy, so expensive.
Yeah,
and it was like the only issue is I was like, okay, this is kind of a vehicle for T-series music videos. Because they're like, let's get a cool location, boom, 3 music videos.
You can tell that T-Series is behind
ready.
it.
They're like,
it's like, this is a little not commercialized, but like,
consumer.
This is like, okay, I see what you're getting at here.
Right.
But I don't know, the performances were pretty good, and Deepika, she was great as always. And they're not going to fool us with her putting on glasses and she's not beautiful or whatever. I mean, that's not going to work. Just not going to work. So, but she played her part really well. It maybe would have been a little more realistic. I don't know, casting someone else, but she's just she's a really good actress.
Yeah.
So she played.
No, I agree. I really liked the whole dynamic between them and stuff. I also liked it because it did remind me too a little bit of Zindagi, where it was a bunch of friends. You know, it was a bunch of friends that have been lifelong friends for a long time, and then some of them get married, and some of them do
but they still
are friends. Right at the very end of the movie, they all called each other. about the marriage. I knew. Yeah, and it was like those friendships still remained.
Yeah,
which I thought was really good.
It beautiful.
I like Zindagi better, but,
for sure.
I think we can.
That was. I gave that 4.5. I love that.
You did.
Yeah. You guys know it.
But this was like an entertaining movie. It's again 2 hours and 40 minutes. It's like, oh man, I think you could probably convey what the storyline does in less than that.
Sure.
But I understand it's just normal aspect. But
I thought it was fun. I thought it was clever. It was witty at times too. We laughed a lot, which was always good to have.
Entertaining.
I liked it. It was one of the better ones we've seen recently, I think.
Interesting.
I think so. I mean, like Boole, I wasn't too big of a fan of, and then we watched this one after that one. I was like, wow, this one is awesome. Like compared to like, I just thought it was like different. You know, it was its own thing. It wasn't sad. It was fun. It made you feel good, which I liked.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
I didn't like how she didn't wear a nose ring. She should have worn a nose ring.
Oh, at the wedding? What?
I think that's an interesting question. Was that more of a modern? I mean,
I don't know because
Indian
all of my plans of buying my wife all these jewelry, is this out the window now? Like, do they not even wear it anymore? Like,
it had strong elements of a
for
classic.
special occasions, but a wedding is a special occasion, so I don't know why she wasn't wearing one. I don't know. We can't
no
speak
idea.
to this.
We're not. No idea.
It seemed like there was the classic.
Don't hate us.
Wedding.
We just saw that. Oh, she's not wearing it.
It was like like modern and in the classic Indian wedding feel. Like so, it was.
Yeah, it was mixed.
Yeah, which I thought was cool, and I thought the dances were really good. I mean,
the dances
as always,
were pretty
very good choreography. It's very. I mean, like in America, it's like very hard to do. So I applaud them for that for sure.
Yeah.
It was really well done in that aspect.
Ratings, should we?
Should we do it?
Just yell out our ratings. I need to actually look up on Letterboxd.
Yep.
By the way, I'm looking on my phone, it's just because I'm looking at Letterboxd.
Yeah, same.
Don't worry,
Letterboxd, guys. That's the app we use to rate all of our movies. Letterboxd. It's on the App Store. They're not a sponsor yet.
There's some funny comments on Letterboxd.
Yes, I saw some.
Where it says, imagine choosing something as useless as the pursuit of a higher education and a fulfilling career over deep cut.
How unrealistic.
How unrealistic. And then, and someone was like, so you're telling me she took off her glasses and put in contacts to play Holly or something?
We still have got to go to a Holy festival and see what... Is it Holly or Holy?
Yeah,
like Holly. You know, I don't know.
Well, don't ask me.
I'm asking you, listener. Is it Holly or is it Holy? And
that's interesting. There's a comment that said anti-La La Land. Interesting, because it is kind of like.
I do agree. I actually was thinking that while watching it. It very was reminiscent of La La Land in a lot of ways, where it was a lot of singing, a lot of dancing, and a lot of being torn because you really aren't compatible. Mm-hmm. Which I think in both movies was very obvious. Neither of them were compatible in either movie. In the ending of La La Land, I liked a little bit better.
Same.
Because they, spoiler alert, did not end up together.
Yeah.
And in this one they did, which is fine, and that's totally cool.
Yeah. Yep. So ratings. Everyone yell out of 5, the Letterboxd scale.
Okay, ready?
I got mine.
I already saw.
I locked mine in. I
already locked mine in.
So here's the thing. It's been a couple of days since we've watched this movie. Yeah. I locked mine in when I ended the movie.
Yeah, I did too.
I locked it in then.
I locked it in.
Interesting.
Too,
yeah.
Okay. All right.
3,
2,
1,
3.5.
Oh, we got the wide spectrum here.
We do.
I don't think this is ever happened.
I knew I was going to be higher than you guys because I just really liked it. I am surprising. Like I liked the love story. I normally am not a fan of love movies, but I really like this one for some reason. I don't know why. And honestly, because it's been a while, I don't really remember why.
Oh boy, that's.
But I just remember it being. I just remember being fun, and I liked it a lot. I just remember being like, that was so enjoyable.
Yep. Even though I gave it a 3 out of 5, which sounds pretty low, I did still hit the like button on my 3 out of 5. Yeah, so that means I liked it. It's just I didn't enjoy it as much
because it's hard to rate on the 5 scale because it is kind of tight. We can't have nuance.
Yeah.
And then Isaac did a 3.5.
Yep.
Which is probably what is the
middle
average.
of the road. I thought it was.
And it is on IMDb. It's around 7 or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was very decent.
We're about all.
We're close to the average actually.
Yeah. There you go.
So Michael just put a little bit.
Give us a little juice, guys.
That was interesting, though. We all did a different rating this time.
Yeah,
I don't think that's ever happened.
Some corresponding.
I don't think that has either.
With the Indian movies, I don't think we've always had like two people go for the same rating. And then one mate might be different, but this one.
Which, speaking of ratings, we're collecting our ratings and gonna have a top 10 Indian movies of all time.
So be on the lookout. We want to do a top 10 Indian films
that we've seen this year.
Thus far,
that we've seen this year.
Yes, but it would
next year we'll do another one of. You know, so
but it would include
this year.
Yeah, it would include
any movie we've
seen this year. That'll probably be happening at the end of the year, though, right? We'll probably and then same. We'll do a top 10 of U.S. films.
We may even have a contest.
Oh,
we may even. I
don't know
said
what
that
you're
right
saying.
now.
I don't understand.
Off the
what
script.
Contest?
I don't know, but maybe we'll have
some fun stuff. We have some fun end of the year stuff.
Yeah. Join us. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Barbenheimer.
We have to talk about some other movies we saw. Yes.
Yeah.
So Barbie and Oppenheimer came out this weekend in the U.S.
Just got out of watching Barbie, which is why we're all
pastel.
I'm
not pastel. But
look
Michael
at that leg.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
This ain't my leg. This is a sweat. I know it looks like my leg. This is a sweatpants. And I got the stars on.
He's not naked, guys.
I got the stripes.
Whoa.
American.
Wow, what an outfit.
What a colorful outfit.
What a fun outfit.
So for those who aren't aware, the Barbenheimer meme trend.
In America, there's two big movies that came out this year, Barbie and Oppenheimer, and so the joke was...
same weekend.
The joke was...
Polar opposites, theoretically.
Fun, kind of cotton candy vibe, and then the other one was dark, deep, and sad about the World War II, the... atomic bomb.
Yep. And the Manhattan Project.
So which one do we start with?
Oppenheimer.
Let's start with what we saw
that
first.
Yep.
So I don't know expectations going in versus what we actually saw, and this will be interesting getting your guys' ratings too because I didn't really.
Guys, let us know what you guys thought of these two movies if you saw it. We saw some comments wanted us to review them.
Yes.
If you saw these movies,
talk about it in the comments. We want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, most interesting comment. We'll.
I don't think we got a funny comment.
No one's doing funny comments
well,
anymore.
Funny versus interesting. I don't know if the two.
Let's see.
It could be either one.
I don't
know. I just want to hear what they thought about the two movies.
We'll pin a comment.
But
let's
anyway,
just say that.
I think we can all say that we love Christopher Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
His movies are usually
director of Oppenheimer.
Usually consistently good. He delves into different subjects, and they're all usually great. They're all without question. So I think we were all expecting Oppenheimer to be pretty good.
Yeah.
And wow, it was a 3-hour dialogue heavy, extremely dialogue heavy, complex examination of a central character plus everything surrounding the events surrounding Oppenheimer. And I thought it was really good. Just throwing that out there. I thought it was really well done.
I did too.
The technical craft was incredible. I mean, of course, Nolan is a technical master.
Yeah.
The cinematography was amazing. The soundtrack was present.
It will win a zillion Academy Awards.
Yes. And the acting was maybe the best acting in Nolan. Because usually Nolan's films are focused on the technical and the storyline or
but Cillian just
plot.
Killed it.
Incredible.
Literally.
Yes. So, was it Cillian or
It's Cillian.
I've looked at
it's Cillian.
Michael and I had a whole debate about that one podcast a long time ago.
Ago.
We were calling him Cillian this whole time, and it's Cillian.
He's not silly. He's a killer.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah,
Cillian Murphy was incredible.
I don't know if he's actually won an Academy Award, but I think he probably will for this.
He was very. So what I appreciated in this movie, and there's so many different things to talk about, but the camera focused on his face so often. And it's like the weight of the world is on his face, which is actually the case.
Which is such a good casting.
Interesting.
From casting perspective, what a good casting.
And he looks like the original Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Which, incredible casting. And then Robert Downey Jr., incredible as well.
Yeah, because we've only, the past movies he's been in have been Marvel stuff. Or Doolittle, which I have not seen.
This is a movie where he is not himself.
Yeah.
he is.
You see a little bits and pieces occasionally, but like he is so immersed in his character.
Yeah,
and it's really, really well done.
He did really good. Yeah, they all did great.
Yeah, all the cast. Emily Blunt was
Emily
great.
Blunt, that one conversation during the cross-examination.
I mean, insane.
Just her acting was great.
Insanely good acting. Great technicals. And even though it was a 3-hour movie, they moved along so quickly. It felt like a trailer. Honestly, like if it was moving so fast and there was so much dialogue, it was just... If it was paced-wise, I thought really good.
It was so hard. There's some negatives. It's not a perfect movie, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
But the dialogue was so heavy at times, it was hard to keep track of what they were.
You really have to be paying attention.
What the motives were, that was very important, and you had to get really into it. To understand what they were saying. Yep. And it's
cannot watch this movie if you're tired.
Right. Tired. You have to be alert and you have to be engaged with the subject matter. If you're not, I can see how people would think this is pretty slow, or not necessarily slow, but tedious to get through a little bit. Yeah. It's 3 hours.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But I mean the technical craft with that, like the natural effects, that's incredible. Like I sent a link out.
No CGI
in this movie.
I know. I saw
incredible.
That.
Crazy. They had to research into the science behind how to make these effects, basically,
to simulate
practically.
A bomb.
It could without actually making an atomic bomb. They had to create these explosion effects with using different materials and like they use like balloons and water and like crazy things to do that. And like I thought that was.
And I'll throw a little critique out there too in terms of that's the hard part for me as well, because I do think Robert Downey did really good, but he was distracting at points because he was Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
And while I was engaged in him as his character, every now and then I would see Robert in him. And then I'd be like, oh wait, this is the guy, right?
Yeah.
It's hard because he's so known for being himself.
Right.
So I think the more we see him in weirder roles, the more we'll kind of let him become his character.
It was weird because he was I would say a large portion was he immersed himself entirely into the character. Yeah. But there were a couple like signature that's RDJ.
Yeah.
But he did, like, when he first came on the scene, I was like, hey, Mike, like, this is not art. Like, this is crazy.
I know. It was wild.
And then as you see him more and more dialogue, occasionally it comes through. But it was just really, that's why the performance was so
I thought the performance was really good. But it did take me out a little bit every now and then.
We also got to talk about Matt Damon, because I thought he did great in this movie.
He did.
And his, like, relationship with Oppenheimer was interesting, and, like, there were so many different, like, perspectives coming in between, and like their relationship was just complicated in a way, because like they were friends, but then he also couldn't give Oppenheimer too much information, and then like there was so many complex relationships.
I totally agree. Well, and Sadie's not here, my wife.
Oh yeah, we gotta kind of
she relayed through me. We will relay kind of. So she liked she really did like it a lot. I mean, and we'll get to Barbie. She gave me thoughts on Barbie too, but but in terms of Oppenheimer, she really liked the whole movie. She really liked the dynamic too of his struggle, and this was one of my favorite scenes. Incredible. Was when he was announcing to everybody that the bomb was successful.
Oh yeah, that was my favorite too.
I mean, chills. Incredible.
And how he's like talking, and then he's not even hearing them, and it's like
it goes in and out, like it gets quiet, and then
amazing.
Well, and I love how there were certain points in the movie that there would be a slow build up to a point, and then it would explode, and it would literally show in through his eyes like the explosion. So that point when he was giving the speech, and then also the point when he was being questioned, where it was just all he couldn't handle it, and it just literally everything turns white in the room, and then it's like quiet, and then boom.
The build up was incredible.
It was really cool how. It would just the movie built up just like the bomb did. Like there was the quiet before you heard or you saw the explosion, but then you didn't hear anything, and then boom!
It was just so cool because it just shows you his struggle of a guy that had to make a bomb that would kill thousands of people, and he's just like, what the heck, you know? And it's interesting to bring it back to Indian. He quotes Sanskrit. Which is where he's like, I have become death to destroy worlds, which I didn't even know that it was Sanskrit that was I thought he just said that, but it was from a Indian Sanskrit. So
I've heard there's a controversy though when he was.
Oh boy,
this is funny. I think you have to look it up.
Let us know.
He was reading an Indian book, a holy book.
The Sanskrit,
Well, no, but while he and Florence were nude.
Oh, right.
Right, I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's very, very not respectful to do in a flippant way.
I could probably see that.
I could see that.
If someone had a Bible while they were blinking.
Nude. Yeah. So that was interesting. Right. But that's a controversy I saw. And
well,
that's
so
interesting.
I don't know if we want to bring up the floor...
What?
That was an interesting slip.
So Sadie had thoughts about that.
I did too.
I want to hear it because there's...
What did you have thoughts on, man?
Well, I thought
Sadie leaned in during the movie and she whispered, she's like, is Isaac just in heaven right now?
What in the
She
world?
asked. And I said, don't ask. He would not laugh at that.
Oh my gosh, Sadie.
I know.
Sadie,
naughty.
How did you say that?
Oh my goodness.
I laughed.
I was going to say that... they didn't need to include any of that in the film.
Right.
I thought it wasn't
Sadie
needed
thought it was interesting. That
there is a certain scene that's very interesting.
There is a scene where he's in the interrogation room, and that's what she brought up too,
startling.
Because she was like, that was...
Oh, that I saw, I saw why he...
Yeah, because it was her looking at...
The other two scenes were just where they were just naked.
She was talking
sitting,
to him naked,
well, that's just the interrogation one.
No.
We're talking when he is naked on the couch and she's naked on the couch.
Oh, was that before the interrogation or during? I thought it was during.
Wait, but what are you doing?
In the interrogation when she's on top of him.
Oh, right. That was that was startling. I was like,
let's not go too far.
But I understand because I think Nolan was saying so Emily Blunt is his wife.
She can see that.
It's just like a start. That was very startling and it was meant to be.
But made sense because it's her emotion.
She was sitting in
scene.
back. She was.
Here's the thing. I would have never thought Nolan would go into sex position instead of which is a Game of Thrones thing where they're which is stupid.
Expositional.
Exactly, where you're talking and there's just nude people on the screen just randomly. I didn't think Nolan I don't know why he chose in that regard.
Sadie thought it was an interesting comparison between kind of like a quote on, this was her word, not mine. She was comparing it to communism in a way where
I'm trying to rationalize.
This is Sadie's word, babe. I don't know. The bus is getting tossed under the bus. For one, she was saying that she thinks it's kind of like that, where Florence Pugh is kind of the sexy character, kind of like how communism is sexy in a way.
Whoa!
This is her, but again,
I'm gonna have to talk with Sadie.
At the end of it, she ends up dying. And kind of how the play, if you keep playing, from her words, if you keep playing through communism, it will eventually fall apart. Whereas Emily Blunt's character was communist and then ended up not being communist, but ended up being quite bitter.
Whoa.
Powerful stuff from Sadie.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Deep insight.
I don't know. So here's the thing. Nolan is never, people were talking about, he never has sex whatsoever in any
Why are we still... We should move on
it's
from
just
it.
an interesting
You have to.
You have to dwell on it because he just doesn't dwell on relationships that way. And it's now all of a sudden Oppenheimer was an essential part of his character or whatever, and it's interesting to see
why the rationale.
I didn't think it was that necessary either.
No, I get. Yeah, I understand. The only thing that, like you said in the interrogation, that was started.
That made sense.
Meant to be started, but they didn't.
Again, I don't know what got into him. I think
Sadie.
That's Sadie's theory, though, is that it was maybe the allure of communism in a way.
I'm sure he has his reasoning,
and it could be that. It could be very philosophical, kind of in a way too. I don't know.
Yeah. Besides, you can make this movie PG-13 so more people can watch it.
Oh yeah,
I agree.
There wasn't even a lot of swearing. Really.
Yeah, it's
mainly.
I don't know. I mean, you can definitely leave a lot of stuff that's suggestive.
You could even have done that scene that they did in the interrogation without making it
more
without making it R-rated. You could have made it.
Yeah. It was whoa, what am I seeing right now?
I know that was.
Yikes.
Yep.
But that was interesting. So on to other things about the movie.
Yeah. Final thoughts or
one thing we didn't talk about was Robert Downey Jr.'s character and his motive for wanting to throw Oppenheimer under the bus, kind of that whole thing.
Yes.
I thought that was like I guess I'm sure this. I mean, it must have all happened, but like it was kind of hard to understand his motive because it seemed kind of petty. Like how he's like, I just want to, like Oppenheimer, he did all this, he turned everyone against me. It's like, I didn't really see any of that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all in his mind.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of out there. They focused a lot on that in the last 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I thought that's where it did get a little slow.
Right.
The last 45. I mean, the dialogue was still very powerful, and they would build it up and all that. And Nolan built it up really well. But like, I was like, oh, but okay, this is turning into a courtroom drama in a way.
And that's where it's like, at the very end, they did acknowledge that in a way where the guy was like, well, don't you think he was telling him about something other than
something other? And then I love how they went back to that scene. I thought that was a really
I agree.
Good thing.
I thought that was really well done too.
Yeah.
Where they did
where Oppenheimer and Einstein
expanding on that. It's almost like so they just finished, and hopefully everyone's watched this. I feel.
Let us know, guys.
Oh shoot, we didn't even say
no spoilers. So now we're like a little bit of spoilers.
Well,
after
we
the
already.
Bomb, well, yeah, it's too late.
But
after the bomb goes off, that's an interesting ending, like a theoretical ending. That's like 2 hours or whatever of just like all that like really crazy. And then immediately after that, the air is let out of the, I don't know the right terms, but basically air is let out of the sails a bit, and then you're just back to talking a bit.
Yeah.
And you have to slowly build up to the second
After the
conclusion.
Trinity test, it was like...
It felt like too long to do that.
There were two climaxes. They did a double bubble where it was...
Yeah.
It was
well, and the climax was when it literally... Explosion, yeah.
So, so it was... I thought that was an interesting choice because it took a little bit to get back in after that first explosion.
I thought
after his speech, it was
it's like
after that speech, after the
I also thought it was kind of a weird, like, random tie-in where, like, at the very end when he was like, who was the one that didn't choose me? And they're like, some young Senator Robert Kennedy or like John F. Kennedy. And it was like, oh, are we, like, throwing in, like, a random conspiracy theory at the... I don't know. I thought that was kind of a throwaway line, but also it was kind of like maybe that's what happened. I don't know. Probably it's what happened. But if it wasn't what happened, I would have been like, that's kind of random just to throw like maybe that's what killed. Kind of a
I do think this movie will definitely benefit from a second viewing to catch more dialogue.
We're gonna watch it with my mom.
Okay.
And I forgot. I know.
You're gonna watch this with your mom?
Oh my gosh! You forgot that there was interesting stuff in
at church too. We were talking. Well, not like during the service. We went in. We were talking, and we were like, "Oh, we should," and then let's do it. And then we were like, "Wait a second."
What about your mom and Barbie though on the set? Well, we're not quite.
Okay, we got it.
Let's rate our
ratings.
Yeah, so everybody at once.
Ratings.
I'm
okay. 3, 2, 1, 4. Okay.
What?
Yep.
Wow.
I thought we'd all be similar.
It's unanimous.
Wow.
It's a fantastic movie, but I don't think it's not.
No.
I think this is better than Dunkirk.
Yep,
but
same
still
here,
not nearly as good as Interstellar.
I think I'm gonna make a list on Letterboxd, just like favorite Nolans, like ranked.
Yeah,
Nolans.
we should do that.
I was talking to you right before.
You got to see the following.
I know, but I was asking you.
See the following.
I was asking Ben like right before the movie started, what is his least favorite?
Yeah,
and I think you said the following.
Yes.
Right.
But you still have to see it.
But it is interesting though, because it's like all of his movies are so good. It's really hard to rank.
Yeah.
But I
think they're all good to an extent.
Yeah.
And Dunkirk is the type of thing where I'm like, wow, technically this is an interesting way to tell the story.
Right.
But you don't rewatch it as much.
No.
Oppenheimer I do want to rewatch, but it wouldn't be like tons of rewatches.
Well, and to be honest,
one
of the main reasons why I like Oppenheimer better than Dunkirk is because there was so much more dialogue in Oppenheimer
and emotion.
That kept it in.
Dunkirk was very
Dunkirk was literally just like battle war scenes basically without a lot of dialogue.
A point in time.
And I think part of it was
and that's
perfect
what
casting
he wanted
in
to.
this movie.
Yeah. This is Nolan. He gets the best performances he's ever done.
Yep. Yeah, I think so. Sure. Yeah, best performances from ever.
Now, other best performances in a different movie.
Oh yeah, so let's move on to the
Barbie
second
time.
The other part of Oppenheimer.
Oh my
gosh! Very interesting movie. Lots to talk about. Barbie.
Yes, Barbie.
Man, where do we start?
Movie. Oh, I gotta rate it.
I'll do it. Hold on,
we gotta talk about it. So
we just came out of Barbie.
We did. Okay.
Guys,
I loved it.
I loved it too. I thought
it was great.
I thought it got better as the movie went on.
I agree.
I was surprised. I'm like, okay, the start is really good, but then like I was like, oh, it's probably just gonna, like dive into the plot. It'll like focus more on the plot and then get all, just get all confusing and political or whatever. But instead, I thought it got better as the movie went on, especially with Ken.
I thought it was good. I thought it was
okay.
Good. Not like
not amazing, but you liked it.
It was definitely good, better than I thought. Yes,
I agree.
Yeah, I had
better
no
expectations
too.
Same here,
which I think is healthy to go into
It's very good.
Yeah.
Wow. What a movie.
There's so much to talk about.
Greta Gerwig is really
I love
really
Greta.
good director.
She's I know.
Little Women, Lady Bird. Have you seen Lady Bird?
No, but I really want
It's a good movie.
Dialogue is so good.
So I think really what made this movie so great was that it was, when we came out of it, I was like, anyone could watch this movie. Mm-hmm. Anyone. Like, it's for young kids, it's for adults, it's for, like, they have a little bit for everything.
Too young, probably.
Right, not too young. But still, even, like, the jokes that are a little off-color, like, let's beach off, like, hilarious, but a kid wouldn't get that, and it's so funny to me that, like, you could have that. Like, dude, I want to beach off. It's like,
that was so
beach off everyone.
I want to beach off everyone. It's like,
that was such a...
There were some random funny lines in that movie.
And I love how, like, one time when they curse, Mattel's like, beep.
Yep, Mattel has
and how self-aware, like, when Helen Mirren comes in and she's like...
Oh, yeah,
like, Margot Robbie should not be saying this because, she's way too pretty.
She's way too beautiful. Yeah, there were so many good lines.
Yeah. I like a movie that's self-aware.
Yeah, it was very self-aware. Yeah. And it was funny, like, how whenever the characters would walk or move, they would almost walk like an actual Barbie doll or a Ken doll or whatever. Yeah. And it was so funny, like when she fell
Margot Robbie just
and like sat down and then like
position.
Yeah, it was so
dead.
funny.
Hilarious.
It was
that was such good
well
physical
done.
comedy.
And here's
body was like,
here's a
depressing Barbie. I was like, wow, that was really well done. It looked like she was like she made the same.
Oh yeah, dude!
Hilarious.
Like, when she fell on the ground, she was like,
and then she was like, and it made like the sound.
Can we all agree that Margot Robbie was a perfect cast?
Yeah, for sure.
Because you have to have a blonde, like 100%. Classic blonde beauty or whatever from Barbie.
Yeah,
but who also has to act really well.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of blonde ladies out there probably that look the part. Maybe
you're saying, man.
Let him go. Let him go.
Hey, okay, we'll let you talk.
Acting like
I get what you mean. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there are definitely actresses that would not be good actors. They're just there for the.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was meaning.
Yeah, when you said blonde, I'm like, are you saying all blondes are
no, a lot. No, I'm just.
No, I meant that. Yeah,
not every actress.
Ryan Gosling did amazing.
Fantastic.
Oh, I thought he was the best part of the movie.
I thought it was so funny how he discovers the patriarchy and like tries to pursue
it. His fascination with horses and how he thought that was the patriarchy.
And I actually okay, and this is more deep. But Sadie and I were talking about this in the car. I loved how at the end they were kind of talking about both sides, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not good for one gender to rule the world.
That's what I liked about the movie because I was worried. I was worried they were gonna totally like disregard the Ken's viewpoint and just throw them under the bus. And there are scenes in the movie where they do that, but like. By the end, you like watch till the end because by the end, it really
song and
like how Barbie was like, it's Barbie and it's Ken, not Barbie and Ken, because like Ken's always like I can only like follow you and stuff. I can't have my own identity, but she's like, oh wait, it's Barbie.
Yeah. That was really.
It was very.
I thought there were some really good messages, especially at the end.
It was very complimentary in a lot of like that gender like stuff where it was much more. It was not like we should rule, no we should rule. It was like okay, we can kind of all do our thing and be kind of our independent identity. Yeah, which was interesting.
I'm glad they went that route because I was worried they weren't gonna go like they were gonna just be like,
guys are stupid.
Yeah. Which I don't think. Yeah, I think that would not be good.
They made fun of I think the women a little bit too. There was the Barbie. Was it what's her name for America Ferrara or whatever? Her speech.
Right.
That was kind of like. It was interesting because I think it was very insightful on some of what she said.
Right.
Women are expected to do this, but not to do this.
Right.
Back and forth.
That was really good.
That was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that was a little bit like,
On the nose.
On the nose.
Yeah, there were some.
There were a couple parts that were a little
kind
bit
of expositional.
Right. On the nose, and it's like, okay, we can kind of get what you're trying to bring across.
Right.
But overall, especially with where it ended, it was overall like very, very well done.
I do agree. I think it was actually quite balanced too. By the ending, there was a couple lines of dialogue that the creator of Barbie had. That was really interesting.
I thought, and
she was talking about how she was like, sometimes you guys just created these words like patriarchy. That was I thought was wild. I was like, whoa, it's a spicy one.
And then when I really like that song by Billie Eilish at the end there. That was really good. Like I thought they ended it very well. I thought they ended the film really well.
And there's a lot of people that are saying Barbie is just all feminist propaganda and whatever.
Right.
You watch the movie.
Yeah, watch till the end.
Actually, a lot. You know who a lot of people who are upset with is the queer community.
Wait, what?
Wait, who's upset with who? What?
The queer community
LGBT
is upset about this?
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to get too far into it.
We were reading some articles that they thought it was going to be much more that route, and it did not go that route.
No, not really.
Where it was very much more...
It was more like the classic,
and they were very... And so, So it's interesting, because in coming up to this movie, a lot of, it was like, conservatives are already boycotting this movie. And we weren't. We were like, let's go.
I
love this
movie. This is going to make tons of money. Right. Oppenheimer's... It's going to be an all-time box office...
it's crazy how both movies were so good.
I thought for different reasons they were both very good.
Yeah, I did too. And there wasn't a dud. Like it was just that they're both good in their own ways.
Yeah, because the bomb blew up.
Remember the Trinity test? They're like, it could be a dud,
and the guy was like, "I'm going to bet you."
Oh my gosh, I love that.
How great is that?
And then Matt Damon's character.
We already talked about Oppenheimer.
No. Back to Barbie.
Back to Barbie.
No, I loved it. I thought it was great.
And Ken's music videos, basically. I love how they had those near the end because it just brought you back into the movie. It was so
and how self-aware. Applause to Mattel for being
for
showing their corporate
with...
headquarters as the villainous layer.
Yeah, and all of
them are white guys as CEO, and he's like, I'm CFO, CEO.
Yeah.
And they're like, where are they? We've had one time. We've had
maybe two. Wait, we did have
that.
I
thought was so funny.
That was
and so self-aware as a company to be willing to take some shots.
Yeah.
And have a sense of humor, which so many companies don't have. They're way more we'll do anything for anybody.
Yeah.
A lot of companies will just say whatever they need to say, but Mattel is let's just joke about it. It's it was props to you guys. Yeah. And honestly, if they make a Barbie doll that's ordinary Barbie, how great!
Oh, I'm sure they will.
I've always thought is there an ordinary Barbie out there?
Why don't they do that? How great would that be?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
So,
and I love that hit home. That's such a good message in terms of you can't argue with that. And then she's like, "This is what I love that part where she's like, you want to get in the real world." This is what a woman will experience and what you can experience, and it's oh, that is a good message to bring.
Yeah, because it's not the real world is horrible, perfect. And it's not that everything's perfect. It's it's not like it's Barbie Land, but it's also not because then she sees all these visions of people having fun and people enjoying life and bowling, motherhood and and that's what I think Greta Gerwig does really well because she also talks about motherhood a lot.
Yeah,
not in a bad way.
I would love to. I want to watch Little Women again.
I know, right?
It's such a good movie.
Yeah.
Interesting. So
ratings.
Should we do our ratings?
Yep.
Yeah. And then I want to hear, did Sadie give ratings?
I'll bring it next time.
Wait, what did you think of Barbie? Did she?
She loved it. She was amazing. She same thoughts we've all had on. Barbie, how it was really good, and a lot of it was pretty fair in terms of a lot of the conversation.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was an agenda, but I think a lot of it was very because we were reading in there about the whole that was what we were reading about while we were driving home about because we thought we were I wonder what a lot of different groups think about this movie. And so some people were disappointed, but then other Republicans really or the conservative they're gonna hate this, but it was really not. They were fine with it, I think, more, which is interesting. So, she liked it.
Yeah.
Ratings.
Yeah. Ratings.
Oh, my gosh,
I got to rate it. I'm going to rate it right now on Letterboxd.
I'm a little bit nervous.
Jeez, you're going to go Oh boy,
You can do it.
I'm a little bit nervous because I might get some hate.
No,
I think I will
beach out.
get some hate.
Beach off.
Beach off. No, I'm gonna beat you off.
Wow.
Beach.
Wait, what did I do?
You just said.
Beach.
Well, that's why. Oh, on Letterboxd the like is pink. It's a pink.
Oh yes,
Dude,
I heard
Letterboxd
about
is so
that.
amazing. They have
I love
unique
it.
little.
Guys, check out Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Ratings.
3, 2, 1.
4.5. Oh!
Wow, we went different on everyone again. This is
you
a
said
new
4.5,
I
right?
said 3.5.
Oh, I wanted to make. I thought you said 4.
I
So-
did 4.5.
Well,
I thought.
so. I was thinking of
I gotta
4,
explain my rating
but
a little bit, too.
the reason why I gave it 4.5 was because I enjoyed
Wow.
this more than Oppenheimer.
Enjoyment.
Yep. I get
Enjoyment level, and I was like, well, shoot, because I did think Oppenheimer got slow in a few areas.
Whereas Barbie never.
No,
it was
Barbie
quick. It was
never
quick.
never was slow at any point during the movie.
Yep.
So yeah,
Wow.
But that so on rewatch, maybe I'll like. Well, I don't know. We'll see where I go, but
Yeah.
maybe it might
As
go
of
down a
now,
little bit.
that's
but
where we're at.
as
We're
of-
more
yeah.
we're very
Wow,
diverse.
Interesting. Yeah.
We
and
are.
I'll explain.
Today the ratings are.
I'll explain
Are
my.
we diverse audience?
Today the ratings are. Yeah. Oh
Um,
my gosh.
So I'll explain my rating a little bit. So I gave it 3.5, which is good in my book. Like,
Yeah, Ben's
just
hard to please.
Man,
Yeah.
he is hard to please.
I thought it was really good. At times, I felt it was a little bit heavy-handed, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
there were
also, it was a bit too. Even though this is a silly movie by definition, it was a bit like childish type of
The
silly
beginning
with
was
like
really-
the cartoonish like villains and like it was a little bit. I was like, okay, I'm not too engaged right now.
Right.
But the acting, like Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling just take it over. Right.
Oh,
They're so
they're
good.
incredible.
I think some of the secondary characters weren't as strong, and so that's another reason why I was like, I'm not quite as invested in some of the secondary characters. But they just own this movie.
Yeah.
So it makes it a good movie. And the script is pretty good.
John Cena showed up too.
John
that
Cena
was
showed up.
random.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, there you
So
go.
that's that.
Yeah. Okay.
The Barbenheimer weekend.
The Barbenheimer has been completed.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
both movies are good, which is cool.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was
Oh.
a great weekend, guys. We had
And
a
the
ton of
theaters were packed. It was
Oh,
good to see
jam-packed.
so many people going to the movies.
fun. I know.
again.
It's
Like,
great. It's great seeing
We
it.
need more good
And
movies.
speaking
like
of good
that.
movies, keep up those polls on the
Yeah.
stuff. Let us know what we should watch
Yep.
next. We're gonna watch a
Next
show.
will be a show, which
Yeah.
By the time you're hearing this,
by the time
we're
you're
starting
hearing
a
this,
show.
you'll know what show it
We
is,
don't know
so.
what show yet. It's a tie between Mirzaper season 2 and
Yeah.
Family Man, kind of neck and neck.
Yep.
So
But by this time, it'll
be
one of them will
solidified.
have one out. So,
we'll
yeah,
check the polls, check that, and hopefully we'll have a new studio by next time. So that'll be
Yeah.
interesting. So
We'll upgrade a little
Yeah.
in the studio here.
guys, have a great day, and
Thank you.
See you
Peace
next
out.
time.